It's really quick, kind of a wrap-up of this week, what my experience has been. You know, if you know me pretty well, you know that I usually pretty analytical, stick to the facts, and but I think this is going to be more editorial. It's going to be more my opinion, my feelings of what I've experienced. I guess first the big question is why Bernie? Why am I here? Why am I fighting so hard for what's clearly a losing battle? I posted something earlier today, which I believe, I'm not positive, but I believe is the spokeswoman from the Hawaiian delegation. Her words to the convention for choosing Bernie Sanders as the state of Hawaii's choice for presidential nomination, and I think that really encompassed my feelings. That it's about a feeling. It's about whether you agree with him or not. His integrity is inarguable, and even now to the end, even the fact that he has proverbially thrown himself under a bus to protect a future that I'll get into maybe a little later. Maybe I should just go ahead and address that now. A lot of people questioned and were very critical of why Bernie did the endorsement of Hillary and fought his own people right down to the end. But really talking to a couple of delegates, a couple of super delegates that have met Bernie, worked with Bernie directly, what they offered as an explanation is that he's sponsoring somewhere in the neighborhood of a couple of hundred down ticket candidates that are running for everything from school councils to senators, and that are progressives and are reflecting a Bernie Sanders platform. And he has gotten the DNC to fund these campaigns, to contribute to these campaigns and support these candidates. And my understanding is that the deal was, you scratch my back, we'll scratch yours. And, something that Bernie made very clear from the very beginning is that this isn't about him. It's about changing the world. It's about fighting for progressive ideas, and it takes a lot more than just a president. No one man, no one person, no one woman can do this by themselves. It's up to all of us. Which I guess kind of brings me to why, I can't personally vote for Hillary Clinton, and I'll try to keep this as brief as possible. But let me start with one thing. There was one question that was asked of me that it was presented. It was something that it's actually kind of been a theme, especially in the mainstream media, of about the taking it for granted, the women president. And that really made me take pause. I had to stop and think about that for a minute. Is, do I take it for granted? And I don't have an answer, but it was just definitely something that kind of something that was said that really made me stop and think. Do I take it for granted that that we could have a woman president? And I guess the argument was presented that to say if you're voting for just to be a woman, that's just as sexist as not voting for her because she's a woman. And I guess that's kind of how I feel. If the right woman's qualified, and actually probably right now I'm going to vote for a woman for president, not Hillary. But the reason why I cannot and will not vote for Hillary is because a good portion, probably the majority, the 60% majority, it's a small majority, but definitely a majority, are kids under 25 years old. And they, you hear a lot of complaints about this, our younger generation, and them not being good enough, not being, a bunch of lazy video gamers, Pokemon Go playing motherfuckers, pardon my language. And no, they're here and they're sweating and crying just like the rest of us. And it's beautiful. It's something really beautiful. And this is the thing, is that let's just set aside for a minute the fraud, the deception, and then just look at that 80% of these kids, 80% of the younger generation are Bernie Sanders supporters. And if this was not a personal crusade for the personal benefit of Hillary Clinton, and this was about the future of this country, if this was about doing what's right for all of America, she would not be the nominee. The Democratic Party, the Democratic National Committee would not have looked at that and said, oh, we're going to go against what our future is. We are going to alienate what 10 years from now is going to be the majority of the liberal movement in this country, and completely alienate them and distrust us just to get Hillary. But in addition to that, the facts of the matter is that, and the dismissing of this is that, that it was just a couple of emails, and it was in May, and the race was already decided. The fact of the matter is there was clear collusion between the DNC. There was clear favoritism, and that's not deniable. That is completely undeniable that there was not a bias between the DNC establishment and Hillary Clinton from the beginning. And the fact of the matter is, while they say, well, is that 3 million votes? The answer is we don't know. We don't know whether it's 3 million votes or not. It may have or may not have. But, she coerced with the media. I actually saw a clip the other day. There was I don't remember his name, a reporter from the Young Turks that was in the press corps, and he was recording the vote yesterday, and he happened to catch on audio and on video I want to say it was a reporter, I don't remember her name, a reporter from CNBC or whatever, giving a member of the Hillary staff a list of the questions she was going to ask her, which, in my understanding in the press world, that's a big no-no. That it's not true reporting if you're telling them what you're going to ask them. If they've got time to prepare, prepared answers. I mean, that's not true reporting. So if she's willing to collude from the floor with reporters, if she's willing to manipulate the DNC and have the DNC and the media, where does this stop? Where does this stop? Did she cheat? Did she steal votes? I don't know. I think until that's determined in a court of law, we don't know. But the fact of the matter is, whether she stole this election is definitely up in question, and her ethics are certainly in question. And like I said in my post, what I posted was, if she can steal a vote, if she can do that, she doesn't need my vote. She can beat Donald Trump without me. It's not going to be on my shoulders, because I don't want to vote for somebody slightly less corrupt than the other guy. And this is it. This is the other thing, and this is probably the main reason is I don't think Donald Trump he won't have the power to do this. And he won't have a Congress that'll work with him. He won't have a Congress that will work with him any more better than Hillary will. And they're not going to let him deport half the fucking country. They're going to fight him. And then we're going to spend 4 years spinning our wheels and not getting anywhere, and then we can get a real progressive in 4 years. We elect Hillary, and there's going to be another Trump. There's going to be another Bush. There's always going to be another reason to be afraid. And the fact of the matter is, there has got to be a point in time when we say enough is enough. You have to vote your conscience. You have to vote your heart. You have to start voting for the things that we need to see in this world. And what we need to see more than anything else is we need to see a change in the conversation. This, and I think this is a good time. That's a good segue to go to the media, what's happened with the media. And let me tell you, that was the most disheartening thing that I have seen this week, is the clear contrast between what you guys are seeing at home. If you're watching CNN, if you're watching MSNBC, if you're watching Fox News, it don't matter. Like, I mean, you always hear about the bias of the liberal media or the mainstream media, but you have no idea, you have absolutely no idea how insanely deceitful they are and how they did not report anything that happened here. I would imagine that most of you don't even know about at least 1,000 Bernie delegates that walked out and staged silent protest in the media tent. That did not cover that at all. And somehow those seats that are supposed to only be filled by delegates are magically filled by the time that Bill Clinton got on the floor, or got up to speak. It's just amazing. There's a lot of little stories I could tell you. I could go on and on. A few really bad ones was there were some delegates and supporters that got here early, got to the convention early, and got themselves some front row seats to cheer on Bernie. This was on Monday, and at the end of it, or they get down, they sit down, and then security comes in and says, "Oh, well, for security reasons, we need to clear this room, so you got to go outside of the convention hall." And then 30 minutes later, they're like, "Okay, you can come back in now." And those seats have been taken by Hillary supporters. And another one, and this is verifiable if you watch the videotapes of the votes, and if you look where the delegate counts were, or the delegated states were, all of the Bernie states were up in the top tier, up in the back, and all the Hillary supporters were put in the front. Another one, a very egregious one, and this was something I noticed. I noticed it right away, and then a lady, I said something about it, and the lady's like, "Oh, well, it was actually something." I don't want to say conspiracy. I mean, it's because it's bullshit. But the first time, I just get to like the first rally, and I just finished drinking a bottle of water, and I'm looking around for a trash can, and there's not a single trash can. This is like this huge media park, this Justice Center. It's Philadelphia, which it's a lot of political stuff, forefathers, beating the American drum, and it's their big independent center, right? And I look around, and I can't find a single trash can. I walked around with this empty bottle of water in my hands for like 20 minutes until I finally find a trash can, and it's 3 blocks away. And actually, the Bernie supporters, the people that were doing the rally, were really good. They grab their own trash bags and they pick up the trash and clean it up. And this reporter, I want to say it was MSNBC or one of the major news networks, that come back, and it was right after the storms came through and everybody had cleared out, and they kicked over the trash bags. They ripped open the trash bags and threw it all out, and then did a report about how messy we were. I am not fucking kidding you. I'm not making this up. But this was all over the place. Like I had the luxury of waking up every morning and watching the mainstream media and I don't know if it's a luxury or not, but going home, and watching the mainstream media, and then being in it, and the difference, the astronomical difference between the reality and what was portrayed in the news was absolutely disgusting. And folks, I got to tell you, turn off your TVs. Turn them off. Stop watching the news. Find an alternative media. In my personal opinion, if you want to change the world, you want to freaking change what's going on in this country, we have got to take back. More importantly than Congress, more importantly than the White House, more importantly than anything, is we have got to take over the media. We have got to go to school, study journalism, and don't be a sellout. Don't do it for a paycheck. The other thing was somebody used the word theatrical. It was theater. And it was. Oh God, the polished bullshit that was going on inside as compared to the real world. There was just, I mean, I can't. I'm trying to do this in under 5 minutes. I'm already at 15. But it was just absolutely disgusting. Just how fake and phony it is, you know. I'd really like to believe that the Democratic Party has at least some level of integrity, but I'm, unfortunately, as a very staunch liberal, I have to say that we have absolutely no integrity. I need to go to a Republican convention just to see if they're just as bad. I mean, I'm assuming they are. I mean, it's all theater. It is. It's damn theater. But I think one other thing I want to kind of bring up with some rejections, some shenanigans that I definitely I didn't really approve of. I didn't, you know, the protesters aren't all perfect. It's not really the us versus them mentality, you know, kind of gets a little overboard. You know, I mean, the us needs to become them. I mean, that's really what the point is. You know, we got to get involved. But there was a couple people that last night that they just started climbing the fence. They were pretty much jumping the fence into the arms of cops to get arrested. It just didn't even make sense. Trying to think, there was some other shenanigans that I just. Oh, there was this first march, the one with Cornel West, and he didn't participate in this, you know, and like I didn't understand exactly what was going on at first either. But we're walking down, we're doing this. It's like a 3-mile walk from this Justice Center up to the Wells Fargo Center, and we're marching up. All of a sudden, a bunch of people started sitting down and screaming. I didn't understand what was going on, but along the avenue, hanging from the light post, were the flags of the 50 states, and they started. They were protesting the Mississippi flag, which, if you don't know, the Mississippi flag is kind of like the French flag, but with the stars. It has the stars and bars. The Confederate flag is the star field, like the U.S. flag. Look it up. But you know, I mean, there's 50 states there. They're not going to sit there and alienate one state. It was just a losing battle. It was a waste of time and a waste of energy, and you know, and I think there was a lot of ignorance that they didn't realize that they were screaming to take down a state of Mississippi flag, and it really wasn't anything racist or, I mean, yeah, take it up with the Mississippi legislature, not the city of Philadelphia. But you know, for the most part, I'd like to be really clear that, you know, I'm sitting in a park that people are living in right now. There's tents along the edge of this park, you know, and I don't see one piece of trash on the ground. You know, and they've been living here for 3-4 days. I don't see any showers in here. I mean, maybe there are somewhere, you know, but these people are, you know, they're setting up tents in the park, and they, this place is spotless. I mean, spotless. And thousands of people are, you know, showing up here, and it's great. These people are very respectful. You know, save a few. Westboro Baptist people, those fuckheads, they can burn in the hell that they tell all of us are doing. I think, and finally, in closing, I think the most important thing, the one thing that I want to really stress, you know, is that what was proven here, what Bernie Sanders showed is democracy works. But it can't be half-assed democracy. This bullshit of people saying, well, these two systems are corrupt, so fuck it. That's what they want you to do. And what Bernie showed was, sorry, mosquito got me. What Bernie showed was that if we really stick together, if the people that are sitting at home saying these two systems are corrupt, I'm not going to do anything about it. If you get off your asses, you go out and you don't just vote, you go out and run for office, you go out and do something, you change your community. It's a trickle up politics. You get out, you run for city council, you do it from the ground up just the way Bernie did. That's what he did. It wasn't about him. It was about motivating and inspiring people. It was about showing them, I did this. I went and I ran for city council, my school, school board. The fucking bugs are gonna piss me off. It just keep going and change your little part of the world, and make sure the person that you answer to is changing the part of the world in the way you want to see it. But the big thing is, we got to change the conversation. There is absolutely no reason in this century that everybody doesn't have food, that we're dropping bombs in countries 1,000 miles away, thousands of miles away. There's never been anybody that we've bombed our way into their friendship. It's all bullshit. And this is the thing, is whether it's Bernie or whether it's Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, the conversation is not going to change into them. I will agree that Hillary Clinton is absolutely the most qualified person to be the President of the United States if you want to keep the status quo. If you think that big banks deserve to be taking their money while veterans are starving on the streets, if you think it's okay that we're bombing people for their natural resources, if you think that there should be veterans sleeping on the streets, Hillary Clinton's the best for that. But if you think the conversation needs to change, if you think we're wasting energy destroying a world that we need to preserve, that we have a mentality, a dark age mentality, a freaking stone age mentality, and that needs to change, and we need to fix that, then you need to go out and you need to run for office. You need to get involved, and you need to change the world. For that, that's it for me. It's 22 minutes. I'm going to have to redo this and cut it down, but I might keep it just so I can watch it and laugh at myself. I love you guys. And thanks for humoring me. Thanks for all your support. It's meant a lot to me. Kind words from especially adversaries, political adversaries, people that have said some really nice things to me that we don't always see eye to eye. And I love you all.